Hi, Thomas. Good to see you. I guess first of all, how are you after your positive test? You back and ready to go and fighting fit?
Yeah, thank you for asking. I'm good, thank you. Fit, feel fresh. I think I was blessed with relatively mild symptoms. So I had a couple of days where I had flu symptoms, and after that I was fine. So I've been very blessed with that, I must say. So I'm ready to go.
Can I ask as well, after one of your players, Ivan Toney, emerged that he'd been on the receiving end of some racial abuse. I've seen the club have put out a statement. How is Ivan, and has he indicated that he'd like to perhaps pursue this further?
Ivan is good. Of course, we as a club, we stand for no to racism and no to diversity, and no, we embrace on diversity. But so we back him. He moves on, and the bits have been taken care of.
Just on that, just to pursue that on Ivan, I mean, what do you think can be done? Is there more? I know that the post has been taken down, but can the social media companies perhaps do more to help identify the culprits of these offences?
There's no doubt that it's, social media have a big responsibility in terms of have high standards in terms of what can be put out there. There need to be some kind of it's like in a democracy, and you want people to share different opinions, but there is something that is, no tolerance policy, like racism. For me, when as soon as there is something like that, it just need to be taken out of the specific social media account or in aspects like that. So I think they have a big responsibility. And of course, there will always be gray areas. I think in this case, it was clear. And I think it's been taken care of in the right way. So, yeah.
Do you think there should be perhaps punishments for social media companies if this thing persistently happens on them, and people can post without identifying who they are and so on? Do you think there should be punishments perhaps if they don't track these people down?
No, I think there could be punishment for the actual persons who put something on social media, because that's just like in normal life, where you can't abuse anyone just walking past them on the street. It's so much easier to sit behind a computer and write some bad bits. I think to punish the social media companies, I think it's a very tricky one. I don't think that's my job to answer that one.
If I can ask you about, obviously there's been a lot going on at the club. The training ground was closed for a bit. You're back training now. Just how, while you were isolating and the training ground was closed down, how have you kept things ticking over, and with the idea that you're going to get back to playing and you've got a match coming up in a couple of days?
Yeah, first and foremost, of course, we can just see that this is just a learning to everyone, even that we are following the protocols very strictly, and our whole staff, and especially the one who's in charge of the COVID situation, and the players have done a top job. It's still possible for the virus to find ways to get in. And on top of that, our medical team spoke to the EFL medical advisors and asked them what should we do, and they advised us to close the training ground for a week, which clearly was the right decision. And now we can see the last 3 test rounds we have had only negative tests, so which is very positive that the right thing have been done, so it didn't spread any further. And of course, the players that were able to train and they had followed simple programs just to keep a relatively good fitness. But for most of them, it was only from Tuesday to Sunday, so that was only 6 days. So if you're running 2-3 times, it's easy to keep the fitness.
You've been on such a fantastic run as a team. How big a blow was it that it's been interrupted in this way? Can the players perhaps benefit from a break after the games were coming thick and fast, or has it really sort of damaged your momentum?
We will find out tomorrow night. I think we are in a good place, and we are in a place where we hopefully can push forward against Luton tomorrow night. The good thing was that the training yesterday were really sharp, intense, and with good quality. So that was very promising. We know we are going to face. I'm more worried about. I'm pretty sure that we will be there tomorrow night. I'm more worried about Luton because I think Luton is a very good side, maybe an underrated team in this division. On their day, they can make it difficult because the style of play for any team. Just recently shown against Bournemouth. I know they got a red card, but 5 games earlier they drew 0-0 against Bournemouth and they beat Norwich at home 3-1. So that's 2 of the top contenders for promotion to the Premier League. So that just shows everything about Luton. So we know that our standards and our level of performance need to be absolutely top tomorrow, and that's what we're aiming for hitting.
I don't know if we've asked you since it was confirmed, but Pontus Jansson's going to be out for some time now. Just how much of a blow is that to you, and are you hopeful that you're going to see him back again before the end of the season?
Of course, when you always want to have your best players available, and one of our best players and our captain, of course, that's a blow, no doubt about that. Pontus, fully fit, is a top player in this division and a top player for us. And the good thing is that Mats Beck have had a top development this season and played some really good games. Every time he stepped in, he just performed. So we are very confident that he can continue performing, and he's actually done that for quite a while now. So that's give us confidence. And we have Charlie Good back in good fitness now. So we are covered, I think, in that area very well.
How are you expecting Pontus to be back at some stage this season?
Yeah. The plan is that he will be back in this season. When always with operation, it's difficult just to put a specific time frame on, but he will be back in this season.
And just finally from me, Saman Ghoddos, you've taken up the option to sign him permanently. Was that always the plan that would happen during this window and get it done?
Yeah, I think it was. It was always the plan that we wanted to sign him on a longer term deal. We know he didn't hit the ground running. Saman knows that. Saman is very ambitious, and he know that he got a higher level. We know that he got a higher level. It's a player that's been a little bit unlucky with different situations in his football. How can you say, career and life the last year, that he hasn't played that many games for various reasons. So he needs that consistency in terms of training and matches, and it's getting better and better. And I thought that he played a good game against Middlesbrough, so hopefully he can keep that up.
Thanks a lot for your time. Good to see you back.
Good, thank you.
Hi Thomas, it's good to see you.
Good to see you, Phil.
Yeah, it's good to see you looking well. Just in regards to that, what was the atmosphere like when everyone could get back together again?
I was very good, I must say. I was pleased just on a personal note, just to see everyone. I think in general, people are enjoying to come into work every single day, players and staff members. So that being away from each other for a week or longer for some of us, and also on top in this situation where, just to be allowed to actually do something, to actually just come in to go to work is a massive privilege. So I think all that added together just made it a very good atmosphere on Monday and in the training. So that's good.
And as you say, you're heading straight into a game against a difficult side. I mean, Luton last year obviously struggled a little bit, but then found their form. Why do you think a team like Luton sometimes is underrated?
I think it's of course, Luton don't, of course, have a big history, but they're not known as one of the biggest teams in England. So that's one. I don't know. I'm guessing now. That's one thing. The second thing is that I don't know why they are underrated, but now I'm telling why I think they're very difficult to play against. It is when you play them, they don't have the biggest budget either. Maybe the best players, but Nathan Jones and his staff and all the ones who've been there since League 2, League 1, and Championship are on the same page. They're aligned. It seems to be a very strong culture in the club, and it's the basic values in terms of very hard work throughout the team. On top of that, they are good on set pieces. They play direct, but not only second ball game. So they want to play and they can play, and they actually have some quality players, but they have that, that they really want to do everything to win the second ball and still try to play and still get behind the ball. They have no egos, and that makes it very difficult. And they understand that they need to stay in the game for that chance, or that second chance that will give them the goal. So we know it's one of those where if we're not on it, then it could be a big challenge.
And just picking up on what you're talking about, Saman Ghoddos as well. If a player's not played for a while, beforehand as well, and that they're just working their way towards getting some game time, you notice an increased hunger to want to play. Last season, the likes of Christian Norgard and Matthias Jensen, who'd come in from a year each they'd had at teams where they'd not played much. Do you get that sense that players are just itching to get out there? Do you get that feeling with Saman as well?
Yeah, definitely. And I think the one where I made him a tiny bit more tricky for Saman. And so I feel the same. Exactly. I think it's a very good example with Matthias and Christian. So Saman just want to play. He's coming into a fantastic group of players that are just, open their arms and welcoming him and come in and please help us and push towards a bigger goal. So he loved the trainings, he loved the group, he loved everything. Of course, he just wants to play more, and you can just see it's just he's so eager to want to do it. But he didn't have a pre-season. He came in a little bit in the middle of the season. I don't know how many games we played. We don't have normal weeks to train because we're playing midweek games every single week. So it's so difficult to get some of the more tactical bits into him, or even better understanding with his teammates. So for example, today we train, the match day -1. It's 20 minutes of actual training times. It's prep, and then the 11v11 it was today with the tactical bits, and then some set pieces. That's very little time. And yesterday, of course, it was more. So we will just take time with him, but he looks sharper and sharper. And again, the Middlesbrough game was a very good example of that. I think you could see his qualities on the ball, brilliant goal, and his work ethic is getting better and better.
And just lastly for me, it's obviously no one can sort of predict what's going to happen, but this is a season where teams are going to have to catch up with games, and there's going to be games in hand. This sort of mini break that you've had enforced upon you will just increase the pressure on the schedule at some point in the season. Is that just something you have to accept, that your games in hand are going to have to be made up for because the season has to be completed in a set time?
Yeah, I just think that's the way it is. We just need to deal with it. We know it'll be tough. We know it'll be hard. We know we need to stick together, be positive, and help each other. The good experience we have had so far is that we have done well. And before the Bristol game, were called off the first one that Bristol called off. We had 12 games on a bounce, and we handled that very well in terms of performances and points, because we were unbeaten and all that, maybe the best so far. So we have some good experience of how we worked around with recoveries, trainings, rotating a little bit the squad, but we constantly need to renew that, talk about it, assess it, and look forward, because things change, and we don't know the accumulation of load, physical and mental, how that will actually affect players and staff. So it's we adapt on a daily basis.